Oh, good afternoon, good morning, and good night. Noon Eastern here on the East Coast. We are Monday, August 31st, last day of the month of August, moving into September tomorrow. What another month that it has been. Now, coming up today, we will have Hans Vestberg joining us from one of our store locations, giving us an update on what our employees, retail locations are working through right now. And we'll have an update on the network and our recovery and response restoration efforts down in Louisiana and Texas as that continues going. We're just shy of not quite a week yet after Hurricane Laura made landfall. Of course, we'll be also answering some of your questions. So if you've got any of those, you can always drop them in email to us, live@verizon.com. So let's get right to it. Going to bring in Jeff Plowman. You've met Jeff last week, network director for down in the area, East Texas, western Louisiana, where Hurricane Laura made landfall. One of the strongest hurricanes to ever make landfall in Louisiana. And the teams are out there working to get things back in order. So I want to get an update from him. Jeff, how was the weekend? How are you and how are the teams doing right now in our recovery and response efforts?
Hey, thank you, Jeremy, and thanks for having me on. I think the team is just doing an exceptional job right now. And when I say team, I'm not just talking about the local folks. And before I go further, I mean, let's remember there's a lot of people working on our recovery right now that live in that area. Their friends and family, a lot of devastation down there. This storm was actually more powerful than Katrina when it hit. But overall, the team is enthusiastic. They're energized. We're knocking out accomplishments by the hour right now. So really doing well. On top of that, I think it shouldn't go without saying that this was the fastest and largest deployment the network team has ever had of temporary assets. Just phenomenal work, and that's due to, the national teams from the supply chain to the IT team working on tools and improving them for us on the fly. All the sub-markets sending us assets and personnel. Never really seen, in the number of storms I've been involved in, never seen a reaction like this, and it's truly amazing. Testament to our culture.
Yeah, it certainly is. And seeing some video here of, one of the LTE drones up. That's the first time we're able to deploy that and all of our assets down there. Talk to me about what the team is seeing on the ground and some of these conditions that they're working through to keep our folks connected, first responders included.
Right. We're seeing just quite a bit of devastation. There are areas yet that we haven't been able to access. We've sent some scout teams out. Some of the pictures you'll see were taken by a team going out in helicopter to assess the damage along the coast where it's inaccessible for us. The drone itself, quite a phenomenal feat by our research teams and our creative teams. This drone allows us to put an e-femto in the air up to 400 feet and cover a wide swath of people. And in this case, when you see that video, you'll see that it's covering a command center and also a place where they're feeding up to 30,000 people. The scene you're seeing right now is one of our towers. You can see the amount of wind damage that took place in the area. To knock one of these puppies down, the wind has to be over 120 miles an hour, right? So, on landfall, I think you've all seen the reports on landfall. That thing was at 150. Shortly thereafter, we were seeing winds of 137 miles per hour. And yet you'll see pictures here of some of the coastline sites potentially that will show you them standing, right? And we've got damages to repair on them, but they're standing tall, and they're going to have to be working for us very soon. We did get a site up down in Cameron yesterday. Happy to say, first site by any carrier that's up in the area. And just a little anecdote, the neighbors came out, saw what we were doing, and the field engineer that was working out there was having trouble with our generator because, of course, it took some damage. They provided their own generator, and they said they'd refuel it for us. So, great people.
That Louisiana spirit is shining through. And Jeff, thanks so much for everything you and the team are doing. We saw those pictures and just Can't imagine the devastation and what people are going through and how we're there to help them stay connected. I know there's a long road ahead, but thanks for everything you and the team are doing to keep them connected. Do appreciate it, Jeff.
No problem.
Good, thanks. Now, one of the folks, before we get to Hans, I want to share this story with you. Mark Sudduth is a hurricane researcher, and ahead of storms, he puts out these weather instruments to record what the weather is doing so he can work with various agencies to help forecast storms. Well, it's because of our network that they're able to stay connected to those on so many of these past recent storms. So check out his story.
Hello, my name is Mark Sudduth, and I am a physical geographer that studies hurricanes for a living. Our project is a crowd-funded project that is completely supported by the public at large. And through that crowdfunding, we're able to provide this visual representation of what's going on through these live cameras to social media via YouTube and Facebook at no cost to the people watching on a general level. So people evacuate, we put a camera there. We are able to share these feeds and the weather data with law enforcement officials, emergency management, and the government at absolutely no cost to them, which just in turn helps to serve the greater good.
That's the camera box looking out over the Steinhatchee River there.
We have been able to develop very small camera boxes using off-the-shelf technology to literally stream live from anywhere there is a Verizon LTE signal. As long as we see that Verizon LTE signal, we're going to be able to accomplish our goals. We have these instruments that allow us from a visual and a meteorological perspective to very easily, even though it's a big effort, it's easier now than it ever has been to collect a tremendous amount of data when these hurricanes make landfall. And we even learned here during Hurricane Laura that the robust nature of that LTE signal, the upload speeds are enough that we can put two cameras on one hotspot looking in two different directions. That could potentially double what we're doing. We're dealing with some of the strongest weather events on the planet, but it has survived Category 5 Michael all the way to the eye wall. We were streaming live video during that. It didn't just cut off and that's it. And that's a huge testament to the network, the engineering, and the overall commitment that Verizon has made for just an average everyday user. We're able to take advantage of that under the most extreme weather conditions on the planet. It's literally like Verizon said, let's build a network for Mark and his team, and the public can take advantage of it secondarily. It's that reliable and ubiquitous, and it just makes us even more confident for future events. And that's from here. That's real world, not, well, I know you need a good sound bite. I mean, we wouldn't use Verizon if it wasn't what we needed. It's incredible. Lives are at stake. Lives are going to be changed. And to be able to make a difference in capturing the science and educating people at the same time, showing them what is happening through these unmanned cameras, that is exactly why I do what I do.
Some incredible stuff there. Hats off to our engineers at every level figuring out how to make that stuff work. And you can see, like Mark said, lives do depend on it. So thanks to Mark for sharing his story. I want to get over to Hans now. Hans, with an update on kind of our storm response and other things going on. Hans, how are you? I see you're out in front of the East Hanover store today.
I guess I need to take the mask off, but I'm here at East Hanover at our store here. I've been meeting the team here. I will talk a little bit about it later. But first of all, I just want to comment on what we're seeing from these brutal storms and national disasters and the importance of the network. I mean, we heard both Jeff and Mark talking about how the V-teamers are getting together, and we have a response in the whole way in our supply chain to see that we are recovering as soon as possible. But not only that, we have built the network from the beginning to actually be very resilient. Still, there are some impacts, and I on my bottom of my heart and the whole Verizon team, we're thanking the team on the ground, Louisiana and Texas, and working this and seeing that our customers and first responders are getting connectivity as soon as possible in the areas where we had an impact. So that's great to see. And also great to hear from Mark, of course, how the storms are being captured and how important it is to keep the network up. And that's how we build the network. We say we build it right, 5G right, we build it right. So that's important. So the whole team with Kyle and the network and technology should have a shout out in these times for what you're doing as well. So thanks for that. as usual, I start with talking about the safety and the health of all of us. We see gradual improvements here in the US. In many countries in Europe, it's actually start returning. I just want to tell all of the V-teamers, we continue with the social distancing. We continue to keep the masks on, because ultimately that's going to hopefully take this disease away and we can get back to something more normal that we recognize. And we can also get back to business in another way. I had a good chat with the team here, with the manager, Noel O'Brien, and her team, what they're doing and how they have changed so much the last 6 months, how they deal with customers, how the customer interaction are happening. And it's just amazing how much we have done as a company and what pivot we have done. And I also spoke with some of the customers coming in here, and they really felt good about what's happening in the store and how we're dealing with it. So a big shout out to all our store employees and management that has done so much work on it. And I guess we're going to hear a little bit more about it later on. A couple of other things that I also think are important. I mean, Citizen Verizon launched a couple of weeks. We have some really exciting news around it. When we talk about the racial injustice, on Friday we had more than 20,000 V-teamers doing the march, which I greatly appreciate from all of you. And it's our volunteerism that is kicking in here. This is an important event. Even more exciting, of course, is to hear that on Thursday, Rima Qureshi interviewed Dr. Clarence Jones, And so far, we have had 700,000 people watching that interview. That's amazing. And talking about all this that is happening in our country. And we promise you, from the day one, we will talk, we will listen, we will engage. And we're doing that, and we will continue to do so. Finally, we want to talk a little bit about the customer side. As you have seen, last week when I was on, we talked a lot about how we're supporting schools. I can tell you the network continues to perform well. We have so many things coming up in the next 4 or 5 months when it comes to 5G. So the whole network and technology team very busy to put it to work. But also our Verizon Business Group is doing quite a lot when it comes to new customers and dealing with new requirements. And ultimately also Verizon Consumer Group are getting more and more back to the normal way or the new way of dealing with customers in the stores and also delivering services. And finally, Verizon Media Group continue to innovate. We see them actually being out there much more nowadays. And of course, the sports season has started. So if you're not following Yahoo Sports right now, I'm not sure what you're doing because I'm doing it. It's NHL, it's NBA, it's a lot of fun stuff happening out in the sports. You need to have some balance in these times because I want to stress there are uncertain, unprecedented time, pandemic, economical downturn, and of course the racial injustice we see here in the United States. So all of that we need to deal with, but we also need to do our daily job, and that's I seeing us doing more and more. So short summary, or maybe it was a long one, but it was a summary at least. Mr. Jeremy.
Thank you, Hans. I appreciate all of the updates. And don't forget, fantasy football drafting is going on right now, too. Yahoo Sports is a good opportunity for that. Hey, Hans, with you at the store, I know you mentioned talking to store employees, some customers. With everything that's going on right now, it's fair to say emotions are running high across the country, and especially in the field for both our customers and our employees. How's the team doing, and how are they responding and keeping it all going?
So what I see here, of course, I understand it's a lot of pressure, a lot of changes, and people are frustrated. Our customers might be frustrated. So, of course, it's tough for some of our employees being out there in the stores and dealing with it every day. And of course, with the new requirement, we need to have masks, we need to have curbside, we have the digital or no touch. Of course, there are some customers that is not really happy, and that's not okay. That's not okay, but our team is stacking it up and constantly working with the lead team with Krista Bourne and Ronan to see that we constantly think about the safety and the health of our store employees. But here in the East Hanover in New Jersey, I think the team felt good about what has been done, but it's different places also and different stores in our country that have different exposures. So I really want to thank all of you being in the stores and dealing with our customers in this new way.
Yeah, and I know Krista Bourne is on the line with us as well. Krista, give us a little bit more about this and how our V-teamers are responding across the country.
Yes, thank you, Jeremy, and thank you, Hans, for being out there with the team today. So, listen, I appreciate in more ways than I could ever express how our employees have taken the high road. However, the frequency of some of the bad behavior that we've experienced has caused some of our employees to be desensitized to it. And I really want to make sure that I send a message to all V-teamers that it is not okay. This experience is not okay. In fact, it's unacceptable. And we don't believe that this is what we want for this kind of environment that we're creating. It's not good for our employees. It's not good for our shoppers in our stores. We expect that anybody in our stores are treated with respect and with dignity. And that includes our sales professionals. And we're working very hard with our leaders to track these incidents. I want the team to know that when you file an incident report, our corporate security moves very quickly to take the most appropriate action. Sometimes that includes ending a relationship with a customer and or getting local authorities involved so that they can revisit with that customer that we will not tolerate that level of engagement inside our stores. It's so important that we continue to work to our standard. We keep everyone safe, we respect everyone, and we treat people with dignity, both our employees and our shoppers. It's good for everybody in this environment.
Yeah, Krista, quick follow-up there. Have you and the team made any specific changes to processes to help further alleviate some of these disturbances in our stores?
You know what we have, Jeremy, and I think that's another very important point. We have choices here. We have chosen to manage the crisis, but lead through change, lead through transformation, which means that we are introducing new procedures to our base of customers, and it will take a little time for everybody to get used to these new norms. But they are designed with everyone's safety in mind. They are designed with what Hans mentioned, the intent to get back to business and do it in a way that's reflective of the time we find ourselves in. So a few things. We have expanded our curbside pilot to have just one way of doing curbside services with our stores, which is great feedback coming from the field. We think that will alleviate some of the confusion at the door level. We've also introduced on-demand appointments to help our sales professionals help customers that are visiting our store to have help with a transaction that would otherwise require an appointment. And we continue to simplify the store signage to make it very clear for shoppers what they can expect when they come in our stores, including wearing a face mask. And when it comes to face masks, we will continue to require face masks. We require our sales professionals wear it the entire time they're on the showroom floor, and we respectfully ask that our customers do the same. If customers don't have a face mask, we have one that we will provide to them. But in the instance that a customer is not interested in wearing the face mask, our store leaders are heeding the CDC guidance, and they are working very hard to come up with creative ways to otherwise serve that customer and keep everybody safe. It's not easy, but we didn't sign up for easy. We signed up to do the right thing, and our leaders are working hard every day to do just that. And so we'll continue to look for ways that we can also be proactive and use predictive information. So recently, a good example of this would be the civil unrest and some of what we see happening with the protests. When we got that information for Chicago this coming weekend that just passed, we were able to board up 6 downtown Chicago stores and keep our employees out of that environment where they may have otherwise found themselves with confrontation. We'll continue to do what we can there, but I just want to stress that this takes everyone's effort. And I appreciate what our sales professionals are doing. I appreciate what our operations and our support teams are doing. And most importantly, I respectfully appreciate so much the work of everyone at Verizon to keep all of our communities safe. And we ask that our customers think about our employees inside the store as they're there to serve them and help them with their needs through these times that we're all living with each other and learning these new experiences together, one day at a time. I really just want to thank everyone for being patient and understanding here.
Good. Krista, thanks so much to everything you and the team are doing to keep our employees safe. Thanks for joining us here on Up to Speed today. One of our frequent guests here, so always good to see you. Thank you for that. Hans, I want to jump into some of the other questions that we have right now that have come in So I want to start with Sylvia Sutton, who's actually one of our general managers from a location in Texas. Let's roll that video question, please.
Hi, my name's Sylvia Sutton from Dallas, Texas, and my question for Hans is, what is Verizon doing to encourage voting in the upcoming elections?
So thank you, Sylvia. First of all, I will pivot a little bit back to Krista and the word she sent to all of us on the importance of the safe and healthy dignity and respect for each and everyone that is visiting our stores. We are of course concerned, as you said, for things happening in our stores and to our employees, and we just need to see that we are doing everything to see that we all are protecting. This is on the highest levels, as you know. So Krista is on our morning calls that I have with my executive team. We get the updates, what's happening, to see that we are really taking the measures and the support for the team on the ground to do the right thing. So thank you for everything you're doing, guys. And we know how important it is for our customer to be out there. That doesn't mean we're going to accept people that cannot behave in our stores. So thanks to all of you again, and the appreciation is enormous to the V-teamers working in the front line here. Sylvia, when it comes to the voting, this is, of course, a very important year when it comes, because it's a general election. So we are discussing how we're going to support the V-teamers for doing that in the best way. We haven't decided exactly how we're going to do it yet, so you probably need to hold a little bit more. But we think it's, of course, important that everybody has the chance to vote, because that's part of the democracy, that everybody can do that. So we will review that in the weeks to come with the executive team and see what is best for the V-teamers and how we want to support you all to make the voting. So we will come back to you, Sylvia, but thanks for the question. It's well posted.
Good. One more question before we wrap this one up today, Hans. This one's coming from Mario, a solution specialist out in California. Let's roll that question for Hans, please.
Hi, this is Mario from Glendora, California. Hans, with everything that's going on in the country and in the world, how do you stay grounded? Any tips that you can maybe share with us?
Okay, I think I heard a question there. It was related to me, I guess, Jeremy. How are you?
Yeah, how do you stay grounded with everything that's going on?
Oh, yeah. I don't know. It's great to be out here today and to meet our employees. It's been fantastic. I like to be around what is happening in the company and with our employees. And of course, I try to reach out to so many people as possible during these times in order to stay grounded, getting the feedback. I reported last week that I talked to almost all of the Black organizations that we have donated to talk to them, that we're doing the right thing. At the same time, I stay grounded because we need to run the company. I need to see that we continue to make the right thing for our shareholders, our customers, of course, for us, our employees, and the society. And that, of course, keeping you grounded because there's so much to be done and so much things to attend to. So I think that has kept me grounded. And then, of course, I have my training, I run, I bicycle, I try to do everything, spend time with my family, which has been great. But soon I don't have my two children at home because they're going to college, both of them, this week. So it's going to be sort of also both emotional and exciting. But that's, I think, is for any parents that have children in that age. Oh, it was a long answer. But that's what I'm trying to do, Jeremy. It's not easy for anyone. This is so abnormal.
Yeah, I think it's a realistic look into your life, and so many people can appreciate that. So appreciate you sharing it. I know we were lucky to have nice weather here in the Northeast this past weekend. Get out, do a little bit of walking, socially distanced, of course. But hey, those are all the time. That's all the time we've got for questions today. Hans, over to you for you to wrap it up for us here on this Monday.
As a quick wrap today, I thought we heard a couple of very important things that we need to share, V-teamers. First of all, these natural disasters are coming in a frequency we've never seen before. Our team in totality is doing a great job, and our network is built to be resilient. Then I think when it comes to our frontline employees, now we talked about the store employees today, how valuable they are and how important they are to us, and how we need to keep it together to show up as a V-teamer with the core values every day, and seeing that we not accept things that we shouldn't accept in a world where frustration and a lot of things are happening at the same time. So I think that's important. But I also want to add we have all our field engineers out there every day doing heroic work. So it's an important time. We have many of us V-teamers doing a totally different work. And I thank you all for doing that. So it's been a tough time so far. I think we're getting much more business as usual. We're trying to bring everything back to business as usual as much as we can, because ultimately we need to run a company. We are responsible for not only hundreds of millions of customers, but also some 135,000 V-teamers and thousands of shareholders and society that rely on us, and we just need to continue to push on that. So I spend probably 90% of my time today to work on business as usual. But it's not business as usual, but working on things that are actually moving the things forward. So before I end today, I pick up a lot of rumors, and it might be a rumor that Jeremy is being promoted. I'm not sure it's true, but, someone has told me, it just seems okay, he has done a decent job, so he should be promoted, of course. And as he is now being promoted, and we might not see equally much on the screen, we put together a little bit to have a small farewell for him here that we want to run, as he has been such an integral part of the Up to Speed since he joined Verizon. But again, he's going to higher levels right now. So let's roll.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Jeremy here in Basking Ridge, giving you an overview of what happened on day one of the strike.
I want to pass over my purpose coin to Jeremy. He has done such a fantastic work on this Up to Speed. Jeremy, I end by giving you my purpose coin, because you stand for everything we thought about when we created this purpose coin. Thank you, Jeremy.
Make it a great Tuesday. Make it a great Wednesday. Have a great Earth Day. Hope you have a great Friday, a great weekend. And until next time, and until next time, and until next time, and until next time, until next time,
We'll keep you updated.
we'll keep you updated. And until next time, you're up to speed.
So best of luck, Jeremy. And you well deserved to be promoted. You have done a great job, and it was not for nothing I gave you that coin. You represent what we want to see in all the V-teamers. So thank you very much, Jeremy, and best of luck. Yeah, I know you're going to be around, but I just wanted to say it.
Yeah, I miss you, Hans. Every day. We've had this lunch date for about 5 months now, so I
exactly.
appreciate that. I appreciate the team. They got me good. I think I know all the inner workings that are going on, and they pulled that surprise on me. So thank you so much. Yeah, I'm not going far away. I'm joining the VBG, our Verizon Business Group communications team, talking about everything that they're doing there with communications. I'm looking forward to that and the new adventure that is ahead. And every day is an opportunity to learn more about our business, and that's what I'm looking forward to. And luckily, we got to see some of the people along the way there. So. Till next time, you're up to speed.